Hello and welcome back to my garage. Today I just wanted to talk about my TW 225 and a little experiment I've done that I really like the outcome. The TW 225 or 200 as it is in many places, 25 cc's less, is a fabulous bike. It's not seen by the serious off-road crowd as maybe competing with them, but it's a go anywhere bike. This has a fantastic first gear, really low. It'll chug along uphill or downhill, and in some ways, even compared to my DRZ just there, it's a great bike, and I can see why they're so popular. In actual fact, both of these are bikes with huge followings, so that must say something about them. One of the limitations of the TW range, whether that's the 125, 200, 225, they're all the same bike, just different engines, is the tyre selection. The front is a easy size, it's 18-inch rim, taking a 120, 130 wide tyre. The rear is very difficult because it's a 14-inch rim and there's only a few different tyres made for it. So today we're not going to talk about the rear end, which has a V rubber tyre on it, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's as good as you're going to get for this bike, unless you try some of the ATV conversions, which are quad bike conversions. What I did was I changed the front tyre. Now, I didn't know how this was going to work out, so I wrote it very carefully at first. But what I did was, when I took a half-worn AC10 off my DRZ back end, I put it on the front of the TW. So it's in Michelin AC10, the new equivalent would probably be a Michelin Tracker. And bear in mind, I've done this with a half-worn tyre. Whether I get a different result with a new tyre, I don't know. So I was wondering, would it behave badly either on-road or off-road? So I've had this on now for about 3 weeks, and I've been out 4 or 5 times on it, and I am impressed. It's worked really well. Now, please don't anyone do this based on the fact I've done it. If you do this, it's at your own risk. Any tyre you fit, any way you ride, it's on you. But I'm just sharing my experience. With the V-rubber front, and I think pretty true with most of the standard tyres for these, if you induce a little bit of wobble, it's not that quick to settle down. So it's kind of a little quirk of the setup. It doesn't cause a lot of problem. It's not a high-speed, high-power bike. But with this tyre on, that's gone away. It slowed up the steering very slightly. You can feel when you ride it that it's a little bit slower to steer on the road. Not a problem, just a little bit slower. But that little bit slower has also means that if you deliberately disturb the steering, it relaxes back to centre very quickly and very easily. So that was a surprise outcome. I was afraid the knobbly was going to be less stable on the road. Off-road, I've found it great. It does mean that your front is probably going to hold on to a side slope longer than your back, but I prefer that way around. And just to share that with people and say it's been, my view, a good change, and I'm going to run with it. And maybe some of the rest of you want to consider how that would affect for you. Now, I know a lot of people have tried some great things, and this is just one thing that I thought I'd share because my first feeling was that it might be dangerous or unstable, but it rides well. There it is. Thank you very much.